Poetry, beauty, romance, love. These are what we stay alive for.
The stars aren't just balls of gas burning billions of miles away. They are also a reminder of the brief time we share on this planet.
Beautiful things don't ask for attention.
What if I were smiling and running into your arms?
It's not all about me. And even though I'm in pain, it's worth sticking around to maybe make my little corner of the world a slightly better place.
Words and ideas can change the world.
You are not God. You're only humans.
You need a vision for your life. Vision is the ability to look into the invisible and to create and to see that which does not exist.
There are times in your life when you're not going to be happy. And then what are you going to do? Your goal is demolished. And there are going to be plenty of times in your life when you're not happy. There might be years. And so it's a shallow boat in a very rough ocean.
Because we all gonna hit that wall. We're all gonna hit opposition. We're all gonna hit adversity. But I think we all know at the core, it's never about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. You can control that. Like people are resilient. Like resilient, got the fortitude. Like you put a goal in front of them, they'll smash it, they'll chase it down. People are resilient. Like when you put goals in front of them, they chase it, resilient. Right? And if you're resilient, you'll get whatever you're looking for if you're resilient.
You have to own your own happiness. Take it away from other people demanding that they make you happy. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff. Right. It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff.
Happiness is something that descends upon you. Everyone knows that. You know, it comes upon you suddenly, and then you should be grateful for it. What you should be pursuing instead is, well, there's two things. You should be pursuing who you could be. That'd be the first thing. Because you're not who you could be, and you know it. You have guilt and shame and regret, and you berate yourself for your lack of discipline and your procrastination and all your bad habits. You know perfectly well that you're not who you could be. And God only knows who you could be. And so that's how you should be striving. That's what you should be striving for.
When you find yourself disappointed in life, when you find yourself coming up short in life, you can either complain about it or you can choose to learn from it.
If you have $1 million, you want $1 billion. If you have a big house, you want a bigger house. You have to find out what actually makes you happy. And it's not having all your ducks in a row on paper. It's improvement. It's improvement in the way you manage your mind. It's improvement in the way you manage your emotions. It's understanding how you've made mistakes and how to improve upon them, and also understanding what you've done right and building upon that. All of those things are what make people happy, including love and friendship and being good at that. Being a good friend, being a good lover, being a good neighbor. All those things, those aren't distractions. Those are part of the big overall of being a human being.
Dedicate your life to something. Dedicate your life to a cause larger than yourself. See, if you dedicate your life to a cause larger than yourself, you're not following the crowd.
It isn't one thing, and it isn't 10 things, and it isn't 100 things. It isn't a quick path, and there are no shortcuts. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight.
Not out of convenience, but out of conviction. There's a purpose for me being here. There are non-negotiables in my life because I must accomplish this thing that God put me here to do.
Getting things is not going to make you happy. That's good news in a tough economy. It's a good reminder. You know, it doesn't matter what you get. Doesn't matter whether it be money or opportunity. All those things might excite you for the moment. You know, even a relationship, as magnificent it may be, might be exciting for a while. But if you don't keep growing, that relationship isn't going to stay exciting. So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I could really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. See, think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? You don't have to work at changing. People say all the time now, well, I'm working on changing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work on changing. Change is automatic. Your body's going to change whether you want it or not as the years go by. And no matter how hard you work, there's going to be some changes going on there. The economy is going to change no matter what you want it to do. The weather is going to change. Relationships are going to change. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution.
You've got to be willing to change your ways. Your life is working. If you don't like what you have produced, you're a director, you are the star, you wrote this script. You produced this, whatever it is. If it's a hit, you produced it. If it's a flop, you produced it. Take ownership of it and decide to go back to the drawing board and rewrite the script that you are the star of. You have the power to do that. On this day, you can declare that I'm going to change.
And so every single day, with whatever you do, if it's football, if it's basketball, whatever the case may be, every single day when you do it, before you approach it, ask yourself a question. Like at the core, I'm talking about with conviction. Say, why do I really do it? But most importantly, who am I really doing it for?
If I'm broken, then I just found my limitations. And until I know what my limitations are, how can I push them?
It's a hunt. It's a pursuit. It's a constant thing that's going on all the time. And when you're in the middle of it, in motion, that's when you feel your best. But the discomfort of that motion makes people so uneasy that they feel like, well, I'm going to go through this discomfort and then I'm going to get to a place of stillness where it's all going to make sense. Finally, I made it. I'm here to tell you that fucking place doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not a real place. It's a place that people look to as an inspirational goal, a destination. And that's going to be the thing that you work hard for. You're gonna push until you get to this place, and then it's all going to be worth it. That place is not real.